What up, YouTube? Back at it again. I was asked to check this out for my new channel, Zack Overreacts. And by the way, thank you for the support and for the suggestion. I think because I've done so much of Geoff's content, voice play included, on this channel, it's somewhat music related. So I'm gonna leave it on the music channel. Hopefully that doesn't offend you. We'll find something else to. I'll find other stuff to put on the new channel. But if you haven't been there, it's down below. Zack Overreacts. Basically, I'm reacting to everything that's non-music related, sports, travel, food, history, true crime, whatever, technology. Right now, we're looking at Geoff, our boy. He's apparently this is and I knew nothing about this. I still really don't. So we're gonna dive in. About his wife and her hearing loss. So it's going to be mostly just sitting and listening, really. You ever thought about that? Like, what of your senses that if you had to pick one to go, what would it be? I almost lost my sight without even without an option, which would have sucked. I It's still not great, but I always think about what hearing would suck too, taste would suck too. Man, they'd all suck. I guess I could drop smell as long as I could taste something. Um, if I eat something that tastes awful, I'll be like, that probably smells like shit too, right?
Hey everybody, and welcome back. If you're new here, hello, glad to
Hi.
have you. My name is Geoff, and I usually make music videos. But this video is going to be a little bit different than what I've been doing lately. And as you can probably tell from the title, it's about hearing loss. Now it's maybe not the most...
They added a bass drop in there, and it wasn't even his voice this time. That was an actual bass drop. Um, it's not fair that you get to have a a silky smooth. You put two words together, like just buttery bassy voice, and also be handsome. It's not super fair. You old cheat code guy.
exciting topic, but it is something that's important to think about, especially in my line of work. And it's also something that is most likely going to affect, I'm not sure, all of us at some point in our lives.
Effect.
In fact, it's affecting someone in my life right now, my wife, Kathy. Say hi, Kath.
What?
Perfect. So this is Kathy's story,
That played well into the hearing loss thing. I get it.
and we thought we'd share it with you. Now, some of you out there may already know this because I've mentioned it on occasion, but Kathy was
Okay, that is in. I'm like, dude, crickets out of nowhere.
diagnosed with profound hearing loss in both ears right after we got married in the summer of 2007. That's Kathy. Now, notice the lack of people holding up cell phone cameras in the crowd. That's because this was pre-iPhone, because I'm old. But what does it mean, though? What is pre-iPhone? Well, it was a very dark time.
Hold on a second. You're old. How old is Geoff? Sorry, let me We're closer than you think, brother.
And we had to hide from dinosaurs a lot. No, I'm kidding. The dinosaurs were our friends. Seriously though, what is profound hearing loss? Well, here's an example of what you would hear if you have normal hearing. The one and only thing a gambler ever has is a suitcase and a trunk. So notice how everything sounds like full, clear, and robust. Now this is what someone with Kathy's kind of hearing loss hears.
Is that for real? Just muffled?
It's a pretty drastic change, and as you can probably hear, the lyrics are muffled, the music is distant, the fullness of the sound is missing. It's like you're listening to your neighbor's music playing through your wall. Now, having some sort of hearing loss isn't all that unusual.
And she's married a musician. That's so. And they'll probably get into this. This is a reaction channel. I do talk. Welcome. Can't you you sense things through vibration sometimes, which Geoff can come with in spades with that, with his lower range, right? You could feel things if it's as bad as that was. I didn't know that at all. That's wild.
And according to the good people who study this kind of thing, 1 in 8 people in the US, or about 30 million folks, have hearing loss in both ears. So if you know more than 8 people, there's a good chance that you know someone with hearing loss.
But only about 2% of adults have disabling hearing loss. Kathy just happens to be in that small percentage.
She's very special. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, how did this happen? She's so young and pretty and smart and wonderful. And yes, you'd be right about all of those things.
Sweetheart.
But to tell the story of how we discovered Kathy's hearing loss, we've got to go back, like centuries ago. Literally.
Kathy and I met in 1997 when we were both professional Christmas carolers. It's a real thing.
We were both trying to make a career of singing, and there were a lot of opportunities in Orlando, where we live, for singers who can move well. And so we auditioned a lot and got cast in a few things around town. One of them being the Beetlejuice Rock and Roll Graveyard Review at Universal Studios.
Professional carolers. You can get paid to do that? I would do that just for fun.
We were so pretty. Kathy and I had started dating right around that same time. This was like in 2004 or something.
Additionally to working at the theme parks, we were both performing as much as we could. I was working with voice play a lot. Kathy had a few bands she worked around town with. Long story short, we were both doing a lot of music-type performance things. Most of them were pretty ridiculous.
Don't judge me. You know I look good in a bear backpack.
Anyway, as part of our employment at Universal, they required us to get yearly hearing tests to make sure they weren't ruining our hearing, and mine always came back normal. Kathy's, on the other hand, did not.
It was right around the same time that I noticed that Kathy always had the TV up just like a little too loud, and she always thought I was mumbling, which, in retrospect, is a huge red flag for hearing loss.
Okay, so this wasn't like born with. This is developed over time, right? So Universal Studios or whoever they were working with might owe Kathy some money. Just saying. That's crazy. And I didn't know that honestly, I didn't, or maybe I probably read it at some point. I didn't know that she was also a singer as well, to that effect, where they were on stage together. I don't think I've seen anything with them on stage together.
If that sounds like someone you know, if it sounds like you, go and get your hearing checked.
What?
By the time we stopped working at Universal in 2013, Kathy's hearing had really deteriorated. Not only that, but unknown to either of us, she was also suffering from something else, which I'll explain in a minute.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, you guys were musicians, you were exposed to loud music, pyrotechnics, and the agonizing, nightmarish hell of being a theme park performer. Of course you have some sort of hearing loss. Well, not so fast, Fasty McFasterson. After seeing hearing specialists, doctors, genetic experts, we were told that Kathy's hearing loss is degenerative. So it's not caused by any kind of environmental or external stressor. It was just always going to happen.
And believe it or not, lots of musicians deal with hearing loss. Folks like Phil Collins, Huey Lewis, Grimes, will.i.am, Moby, and of course, Beethoven. Although, to be honest, Beethoven doesn't really deal with hearing loss so much anymore because, he's dead.
What? I think.
Geoff has these moments of we could call it humor, but it's very dry and it's playful. It's funny, dude.
Say he dead.
Shout out Beethoven. The thing that made Kathy's hearing loss so difficult to deal with was not only because she was so young, but as it turns out, she also has something called Diplus disharmonica. Like I said,
double D's?
She's very special.
I'm sorry, guys. That was not appropriate.
Also has something called Diplus disharmonica. Like I said, she's very special. What this means is that one ear perceives a sound normally, but the other ear hears the pitch differently, which is something that we didn't even realize existed at the time. For example, if I play a C on my pitch pipe, Kathy hears the C in one ear and some other not quite C tone in the other. It could be a B or a C sharp, who knows? So combined, it would sound like this. Gross. You can see why performing or listening to music would be confusing at least. Trying to match pitch and stay in key became a real problem for her right around 2009, which is when she got her very first hearing aid. She just got one, just for the ear that was in the very worst shape, which looking back, might not have been the best decision. Why? Well, I'll let you hear it right from the source.
Hi.
Hi. Well,
I can relate to that with the eye problem that the aforementioned issues with this eye. If you ever see me looking around and you see something glisten, this eye's had 2 surgeries, and so whereas a hearing aid is for ears, there's actually a lens that was surgically placed in this eye. That's what's reflective. You guys don't care. Let's get back to Geoff.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so just to give everybody an idea of what your hearing is like without your ears in, can you take them out for a second? I'm gonna cover my mouth because you also read lips pretty well.
Yes.
So I'm gonna cover my mouth and I'm gonna talk. You see if you can hear what I'm saying.
Okay.
You ready to try?
Yeah, you want me to take them out?
Take them out. Let's see. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Okay. Let's see here. I think you're just the prettiest.
I'm not getting anything.
How about, do you like to eat shampoo?
Do you like candy truffles?
I do like candy truffles. Okay, so now let's see here. So I said, our cat ate our goldfish.
Say it again.
Our cat ate our goldfish.
Yeah, it's like I'm not doing a good job. I'm in COVID world now. I'm not used to reading lips anymore because everybody's wearing masks.
Yeah. Okay, we'll put them back in. So it makes a big difference. So tell me about the experience of first getting that very first hearing aid. What was that like?
The addition of the first hearing aid was somewhat helpful, but also it threw me a little off balance. So it was not very long before I started wearing 2.
You said something interesting that you felt, because you just had the one. You said you felt off balance. Can you kind of explain?
There was still a loss in the other ear. And so now the one with the hearing aid was getting just an overload.
Would it be like putting an earplug in just one ear?
Yes.
And the other ear is like normal?
And not even normal, just like the other ear was like, whoa.
Super ear.
Yeah, so your ears are getting, and your brain is getting used to all this new information that's coming in.
That's so funny that you mentioned that, because I remember right after you got that first hearing aid, we were walking through a store, or maybe it was like Starbucks or something, and you're like, oh, that's weird. They're playing music in here today. And I was like, nope. They play music in here every day. You're just hearing it for the first time. Huh.
So things like background music, the humming of lights, your own footsteps, just all of these things, appliances, you're hearing all of it so loud.
It's like overwhelming,
yeah,
right?
It's very overwhelming. But you have to kind of push through it and and allow yourself to adjust, it can also seriously like make your ears itch.
The hearing aids. That's so weird.
So I would always like yank them out and just
So, right. So after you got that very first hearing aid, we found through Lane's wife, Cindy, a fantastic audiologist, shout out to Scott McWilliams, who fit Kathy with a more powerful set of ears. And it like totally changed things for you.
It's important to find an audiologist who's willing to take the time to help you get the hearing aids programmed in a way that fits your specific needs.
And he's not the only one out there. Like he's
No,
but he,
that's the thing. Find
just
the
real
ones that
super
are
good.
willing to be, you know, kind of on that journey with you. Ultimately, hearing aids have made a huge difference in my life, mostly because I can now ignore you on purpose instead of on accident.
Ouch. Like aside from the obvious benefits of being able to understand conversations and be part of the hearing world, what are some of like the downsides to the technologically enhancing your hearing that people might not know about?
The world sounds tinnier. You have to remember to take them out. Anytime I go in, get in the shower, there have been a handful of times where it's been touch and go. And
Don't you
I'm
think
like,
about
"Oh."
my wife getting in the shower? One of the ones that I people like would never think about is just like hugging.
Oh yeah, the feedback.
Can you hear that?
Can you hear it? You always have to have the subtitles on. You know, I've just gotten so used to it, and now if subtitles aren't on, I feel like I'm missing some stuff. But like going to the movies would be difficult
Yes.
because obviously a theater isn't going to subtitle their things. They have like these subtitle glasses that they're offering
Which I haven't
now.
tried yet.
Well, no, we haven't been to the theater, and
Once again, it's like,
I mean, we have a 4-year-old and also COVID, so we don't do anything
right.
because we're
That's true.
super boring.
I can't hear an alarm clock, and I don't sleep with my hearing aids in, so waking up in the morning, somebody has to wake me up.
Bad fun.
God, I wish I had that problem. What she just said sounded amazing. To just be able to sleep through anything. I'm a light sleeper, regardless. Though, I mean, I got a clock here. I don't need an alarm clock. Zach's up at 4:30, regardless. You guys know that. But if it was to a point where it was like I could sleep through, if I could just remove something and sleep till, I don't know, 7, 8, dare I say 8:30 one day, God, I'd be the happiest. I'd be out there caroling year round.
Thunder and lightning. She has no idea. Leave us a comment and let us know. It's a thing that we've kind of struggled with. If there is an emergency, or if there's some sort of something and I'm not home, I have no idea how you'd be made aware of something like
There's
that.
buttons.
Like if somebody has to get a hold of you in the middle of the night or
It'll buzz.
whatever. I'm sure there's solutions out there. So if you happen to know of a way to solve that problem, hit us up.
Yeah,
below.
there's wearables that you can wear that literally detect and sense anything. Also, that you could just hit to alert anything. But like, yeah, obviously there's gonna be limitations. But that's scary though, for sure. If you're sleeping and you don't hear things, then you're relying on the rest of the senses. But there are things that like that will sense things for you, and alert the proper people for you.
I think we may have solved the waking up problem with a sunrise alarm clock.
Well, I still wake you up.
He still has to.
Yeah, it turns on and it starts going. And I'm like, hey, turn that off.
Social gatherings or parties or anything like that, just everything is, you hear everything at the same level. So if there's music or there's a lot of people talking, it's like I hear just everybody. It's just a sea of sound. And so I shy away from conversation.
Right, because it's hard for you to distinguish speech from just any other kind of noise.
Yeah, even the person right in front of me that I'm trying to talk to is just as loud as everything else in the room. It's just hard to do. We usually get in the car at the end of the night, and what do I say?
What were they talking about? I said, I
Give
don't
me the
know.
scoop. Like, what was so-and-so talking about? I have no idea.
We're partners in crime. Partners in crime. Those are a lot of the downsides to wearing hearing devices, but there are probably some upsides. Like, what are the benefits of having this technology in your ears all the time?
once they came up with Bluetooth capability, I can now mute anything that I want. Right on my phone.
I don't know why you'd want to do that ever. There's nothing ever happening here that is loud. You also do this thing where you'll be on your phone, like she'll just be like doing whatever, right? And I'll be talking to her and she has no idea because the phone sends audio directly to her hearing aids without her having to wear headphones,
yeah.
AirPods, what have you. So if she doesn't tell me ahead of time that I'm watching something, I'll be having a full conversation with her and I'll be like, Kath. So are there any other additional unexpected benefits?
Well, one thing I can say just from the whole experience of hearing loss in general is that it's kind of given me a greater sort of compassion and empathy. You never know what challenges someone might be facing. It's like my disability is not visible. You can't look at me and know. Most people would not know.
Correct.
That I was dealing with that. So having that experience myself helps me to give others the benefit of the doubt. If you're an aggressive driver, though, I'm not gonna give it.
Yeah, get out of the way. Now, why make this video? What's the point of it all? That's actually a really great question.
Well, I just think it's a conversation that is good to have. Hearing loss is it's more common than you would think. You know, when I started to experience it, I was looking for answers or anything that would help me get through that process.
Right. So if this is a jumping off point for a larger conversation, that's awesome. Additionally, protect your hearing. If you damage your hearing, it's gone forever.
Right.
Earplugs, like little foam earplugs, they cost, I wish I had some with me. They cost like nothing. And they will literally save your hearing if you are exposed to loud sounds on a regular basis. Like I spend all day with cans on, just like working, arranging, and listening and singing. So it's just like, when I'm out, earplugs. Thank you for sharing everything. Is there anything that you'd like to say to anybody out there who might be going through something like this or just discovering their hearing loss?
Try not to give up, obviously. Anything can happen, even if it's not hearing loss. Anything that is maybe derailing your path, it's okay to give yourself some time to be sad or angry about it, and then allow yourself to get past that. Try to be open to whatever comes next.
Could be anything.
It could be anything, and you just never know. I mean, I fought it for a very long time. I tried desperately to hang on to what I was doing at the time because I felt like that was what I identified with. And after a few years of going through that whole process, I found out that it was okay on the other side because there were other skill sets that I learned. There were other things that I found were fulfilling to me that I may not have known about before if this had never happened to me. So for anyone going through anything like that, give yourself that ability to try and see what might be on the other side for you. It may be great.
Well said. I'm super proud of you.
Oh, thank you. I'm super grateful for you.
Shall we hug it out?
Ow.
There we go. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Take care of your hearing, take care of each other, and I'll see you soon. How's my face?
Good.
Good. You look way prettier than I do. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you or someone you know is experiencing hearing loss and needs more guidance, or if you'd like to donate to a hearing loss charity, we've dropped some links in the description below. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to add to that. It's they're good pieces to see, and especially with learning about artists and their stories and their loved ones and their stories. I didn't know much about Kathy at all, really, to be honest with you. So cool to check out. I don't know that you guys like watching that type of stuff with me, because I don't really add much, I'll make jokes here and there until I start feeling like that's inappropriate, and just let the subject matter kind of carry on. But no, they're super cute together. It's you can kind of sense and feel their connection, which is really sweet. Um, no music on this one, obviously to pick apart. In fact, I didn't hear a damn thing they said. Stupid. Hey, Ty, we got to run it back real quick.
Exciting topic, but it is something that's important to think about.
I'm just. It's a joke. It's a bad joke. See, this is not what I'm here for, right? Do me a favor, go support Geoff. It is interesting to see stuff like this, and it's probably stuff I'd watch on my own anyways. But if you guys want to watch with me, then I appreciate you being here. Make sure you go support though. Go like, go subscribe. Love to have you here as well. Like, comment down below. Make sure you're subscribed. Appreciate it very much. And if I can get you to do one more thing, go sub to my other page down below, the Zack Overreacts page, where I'm trying to update as much as possible. I'm in the middle of moving right now, so my content, albeit I probably post more than anybody, will be more fluid and more exhaustive as soon as I get this into the next house. But otherwise, yeah, have a wonderful rest of your night, man. We'll talk to you on the next.